The majority of the world population believes this is true, and the below is a conspiracy theory. So sad. Oh, so sad. And if the Earth is spinning around the sun at the blah blah blah, very huge, amazing, tremendous speed, how come the constellations we see all the time on the sky have not changed? I don't know if it's thousands of years, because we don't know. Our history is very short, but they haven't changed even in 150 years. So two illusions for the price of one. So you have to be grateful, because you could pay double price just because you want the two illusions. They say Earth curves at blah blah blah. I'm not going to go into that because it's good on paper, but in the real world, we have what you see down below. Of course, I do have the photo in high definition. That's Tokyo and Mount Fujiyama, and of course, what you see upwards on the upper side is just good for like getting your good marks in maths. The global, I don't like that word. Internet is powered by vast undersea cables. You can read that, even we've done videos about that. Not a single word about satellites in space. And CNN, hey, that's awesome. Heathrow and Sydney, but that's very important, because that we live on a globe spinning in space. But for those people who live in Australia, it would be like this. So why do we have to go all the time Sydney is upside down? A bit of respect, For once, Sydney must be normal and the UK must be upside down. Do you understand? The same goes for America, North America, South America. I'm just trying to be helpful on the spinning globe Earth with curved water spinning in space. These are the two great luminaries whose orbs are as the orbs of heaven, and the dimensions of both are equal. Now, please don't call me religious, okay? You have to understand the Book of Enoch in a realistic way, but it's very fascinating. So the official photo at 100,000 feet of NASA, and then the amateur weather balloon at 120,000 feet. So somebody must be lying, because they're different. I wonder what's happening. So America and Russia, enemies on Earth and friends in space. It doesn't make any sense. I'm still trying to figure out what happened in the 1950s after the Second World War. But anyway, so 6,542 satellites orbiting Earth. Maybe there are more now, but just look at all of them during the night. That's very awesome. It's I don't understand why things change when you look with the real eyes in the real world than when you look at the TV, but because that's normal, and the one down below is a conspiracy theory, because fortunately you can still show photos of the real world and you're still okay, because the real world doesn't belong to anyone. That's awesome. Water needs to be contained. You don't need to be a genius to understand this. I'm not sure if it makes sense. It makes sense because if you don't have a container, then water goes flat. I remember, like, the container has to be, that's why you never have like water on the outside of the ball, because that's why it's just so simple. Another day at the International Space Station. So this would be awesome as a career path, because you have work forever, because you need editors and cameras and stuff. So epic. Same as with water, gas pressure, according to science, gas has to be contained. But gas pressure, according to NASA, well, it doesn't need a container. So bravo to that. People say that we must go higher to see the curve, because you have to be very high up. But then they claim boats disappear over the curve. Until you're using a zoom lens with no fisheye lens. And you get the point. Equipment currently needed today to make a live broadcast over short distances on Earth, but back in the days, 50 years ago, this thing was able to broadcast from 238,000 miles. Flabbergasting, isn't it? Creators be like, I got hit by a rock from space, but it crawled out and left. I want to ask myself the question. So you got hit by this huge, tremendous, amazing post-apocalyptic rock, and somehow it disappeared. My question is, who evaporated that huge rock? Maybe it was like the pyramid people. They just wanted like the pyramid technology, and they just moved the rock away while the Earth is spinning in space. The myth is that internet is connected by satellites. The fact is that internet is connected by undersea cables, and fortunately we still have the cables, because if you don't have the cables, we're just like really messed up. So yeah, I'm not gonna speak about this because people usually get really angry at me when I compare these things with ancient titanic trees, and then you see the tree stumps in a desolated post-apocalyptic area, and it's exactly the same thing. But it is fascinating. It's just, some things never stick. Why has never been conducted a spacewalk to repair a satellite? Have you ever seen a spacewalk to repair a satellite? There's like over 6,500 satellites, and nobody cares about repairing them because computer-generated images do not need to be repaired today. Of course not. Well, they need to be. You have a virus in your computer, and then so. Still struggle to understand why these events are 66 years apart, not 64, not 63, not 67, but 66. The very 6 is very important. I guess you understand why. At least we have 2 astronauts. Now mind yourself, these are photos of them when they were younger. The interviews, what you see there, they gave them when they were like in their 70s and 80s, and they said, I don't care anymore because I'm tired and old and I don't care what happens to me. So that's the typical stuff. Yeah, one was Polish and one was Soviet from Russia, and both of them were active in their duties during the Soviet times. So you can pause the video and you see for yourself. I wish American astronauts would do the same. See if you want to buy, or European as well, if you want to buy propane gas, you have to have a tank to contain the gas, and of course gravity is your container, would say the other people who live on a spinning ball with curved water. Mainstream science says you're on a ball with curved water that's tilted, wobbling and spinning while flying through space at 500,000 miles per hour. Meanwhile, don't forget that you can do that because the Earth does not move. But of course, I would suggest to use a parachute because a parachute only works on a spinning ball Earth with curved water. So yeah. Ever wonder why a rainbow is shaped like a dome? Well, and I'm not saying like the one you see on the underneath is like that, okay? Because we've spoken about this Vibes of Cosmos. But yeah, the dome-shaped rainbow, thumbs up. Very important. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, you're not what NASA says you are. At least it rhymes as well. What are you, stars? Oh, it's fascinating, the thing with the stars. Gravity. Let's make a zoom. Remember, it depends where you are. Now imagine if you're on the edge of the curvature of the spinning ball Earth, you would not be like that. You would be like not even like upside down or like normal. You would be like halfway through. So that's mighty important. You have to understand the law of physics of gravity. What if they aren't stars at all, but holes poked in the top of the container so we can breathe? Fascinating stuff. The first rule of spacewalk is you do not piss in the pool. Don't do that because it's gonna stink and you're gonna see the water. I actually wonder what happens when they're in space, because they have the green screen in the pool and they have to PISS. Do they, like, that's when they edit the whole video to go? I love it. Oh yes, this is awesome. A picture is worth more than 1,000 words. Buoyancy and density are not theories. They're laws. Laws of the real world. Buoyancy, the one you see, the Zeppelin, and density. Well, both of them actually. So they apply because both of them are fluids, the air and the water. Fascinating stuff when you speak about the laws of this of the reality. 4.6 billion light years away and 10 feet away security camera. Something is not right. Perhaps the cameras that are installed on the spinning ball Earth with curved water, that's why. And the ones that are in space, they're not installed on a spinning ball, so that's why they have more clarity. That's probably the reason why. This one is fascinating. Do you understand? But then, of course, don't go into the doctrine of religion. It's more like for you to understand the whole geometry, because people then say, oh, sacred geometry. Hey, again, don't let yourself being just don't go to church. Don't mind me. So anyway, why would you question the... I can't say that, it's forbidden. But at least I can show the photo, the picture. So, meanwhile, are we there yet? I'm tired. Of course you're tired. But you're going to say, this is the thumbs up. We're almost reaching the curve. Then it's all downhill. So you should be grateful that you live on a curve, but you're gonna still be tired because there's no curvature anyway. But yeah, so keep on moving those arms because it's good gym training. The day the Earth, well, yeah, this is about what happened to us if the Earth was spinning. No life, man, would be possible. So that's sad. All three are going to lie to you. Never ask a woman her age. Never ask a man his salary. And NASA, why so many of their employees had a German accent in the 50s? What happened to the other Germans who did not go to America for Operation Paperclip? Huh? The whole thing with Antarctica. So, tired of dropped calls? Does your phone always have bad reception? Are you just plain tired of your cell phone? You need the Moon Reacher 2000, the Supreme 1969, 70, whatever. Because back in the day, they were able to do that. I don't even understand why. Even I have problems with my connection. It drops from 4G to 3G all the time. So sad. And they had like that superior technology. If I could just get my hands on this, super amazing. And yeah, a submarine is an example of good design. It's designed in such a way that everything can be replaced, upgraded, or repaired from the inside, because the outside is a hostile environment. In water and the oceans, which are curved, spinning according to what they say. But then we have the International Space Station, and they had like 237 spacewalks since 1998. But it's easy to do them in the studio, so no worries. And going to church in Australia. Again, let's change this. This should be going to church in the United States of America, the UK, Russia, Japan, Europe. Because, going to church in Australia. But then for Australians, this would be normal. That's how Australians go to church. So for us, they look like this. But then for them, the British and the Americans and the Europeans look like this. So a big hello to, I think about Australia all the time, because it must be tired for you to be like this and then to switch back to normal. It must be really tiring. So still waiting for NASA to zoom in on the Earth and the oceans and show buildings and cars upside down. Ever seen like a shark or like a whale upside down? If Halley's Comet travels at amazing speed, and we are traveling around the sun at amazing speed, while the sun is traveling through space at that amazing speed, why doesn't the sun have a tail? Halley Comet has a tail, but the sun also travels like Halley Comet and doesn't have a tail. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, by the way, these lights all of a sudden openings in the dome. That's awesome. Right, let's not speak about that. So I hope you understood. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you are not upside down. See you next time.